Alright, so this is a review of General Fodder playing Sion support, and I'm just loading a replay from replay.gg right now. Luckily these are all organized. So, okay, so that's all good. And I want to set it to follow Sion. And Sion only. Set the camera to only show blue side. Um, and that way I can comment without, cheating and seeing too much of what they're doing. So, first step, as a support, I like to ask two questions sort of during the loading screen. And one of them is itemization, and the other is how is each team probably going to win the game? Like, what are their strengths and weaknesses, and how are they going to win? So, itemization wise, you got a Cho'Gath, a Xinjiao, Taric, Kassadin, Vayne. So Kassadin and Cho'Gath are going to be AP carries. Cho'Gath, you don't know whether he's going to be building tanky or AP, but potentially you have two AP threats. And then Vayne is AD, but she also does a lot of percent HP true damage. Shin is AD, so you have mixed damage, so you can't just do something like simple and like build an Aegis and call it good. You're going to need both armor and magic resist. With Sion, of course, you're going to stack hit points. So no real easy wins here. You do have 4 melees, so you're going to be able to get up in their faces pretty easily. You're going to be able to, like if you go Frozen Heart, you can keep Shin under that aura. Hopefully you could keep Vayne under that aura, maybe not. But Frozen Heart's really good against Vayne because she stacks attack speed. Okay, so win conditions. Um, on your team, Garen will probably be pretty tanky. Jax probably more like a burst damage dealer, but could build tanky. Sion is usually tanky, but as a support, you're not going to have quite the amount of gold as your top or jungler, and so you're not going to be able to become quite the tank that, say, Garen will be able to. On your team, so Victor or Trist could, be getting kills pretty easily. Jax could become a carry. Garen could become a carry. It's kind of tough to say at this point. On their team, Vayne is a late game champion, so early on, like Trist, both of these two are not going to be too strong early on. But if they get a lot of items, if they get kills and they farm really well, then both of those are late game champions. So if the game goes long, that kind of balances out. Kassadin versus Victor, I would say Kassadin's a little bit more annoying if it gets to the late game, and because he can just like do that hop thing, the like teleport thing, like nonstop pretty much. Um, these others are kind of whatever. So what do you have? You have a lot of, so Victor has a lot of wave clear, Triss has a lot of wave clear, Garen has a lot of wave clear. So if they're pushing you into tower, you can just clear, your team can clear that wave no problem. So they can't really siege you. Vayne has terrible wave clear, Kassadin, I don't really know. Cho'Gath has good wave clear. Um, and so I think in this setup, if you're 5v5 like at a tower, like say here, Triss can get her bomb on a tower, like she's great at killing towers, especially when she gets more range. Victor can clear out the waves like it's nothing, and so you can siege really well. And so that's one of the ways that you can win the game is just, 4v4 or 5v5 in front of tower and just chip away at it. The other thing to know is that they have triple teleport, which means that they have a lot of map pressure. And so, say you have, say at some point, say they take bottom tower first or something like that. And so, Vayne is going to try and hold it here if she can. And, you know, say Cho'Gath is pushed up here on Garen. Well, you know, with these two other teleports, that means that this can turn into a 3v1 and you can rotate and get top tower quickly. So you have to watch out for the teleport. That's sort of one of their win conditions, is to use the teleport to create a numbers advantage and then, you know, get towers off of that. As far as Baron, both teams take Baron quickly. So, anyway, I've talked enough, so let me get into the game.
Rift.
So unfortunately Trist is like half AFK, so this is a little bit dangerous for you. But, oh, did it not? Like, going up here without Trist was a little bit dangerous because they could have cheesed, right? Like, by the time you got to here, they could have been to here. By now, it could be like 3 people here in this bush, so it's a little bit dangerous, but as long as you're paying attention, it's not a big deal. You started Relic Shield, Pink Ward, Health Potion. Relic Shield's the right way to go for Sion because he's tanky, you know, he wants HP. Usually I've seen people do more health potions, but an early Vision Ward can be really good. Going up there was pretty dangerous because you didn't know what was in that bush. You know, the chances that someone's going to cheese you in that bush are really low, so I guess it doesn't really matter that much. You also don't know if anyone's in there, so right there you could have died. But now you've gotten control over this bush. Going Q first, tossing some damage on him. Vayne did tumble first. So let me just pause it for 1 second. So, okay, so you're going the cheese route. That's fine. You got like a good chunk on the Vayne and Taric. The chunk on the Vayne's the more important one because she doesn't have as many, well, normally she doesn't have as many potions as Taric. So anyway, that worked out well. Taric, at this point, like after this engage goes, now you should probably have looked at and seen it, like what the items are, and seen that Taric went magic resist. So, like you don't do, like you do some magic damage from your shield pop, but your stomp is physical damage, so that's a terrible idea. He should have gone Relic Shield like you to give sustain to Vayne. And Tristana, her only magic damage is her rocket jump when it lands. Does magic damage, but the other things are all physical. Anyway, so you're just sort of zoning them off. You saved 1 relic shield charge. You should probably use it now. I guess you can use it anytime, but the melee creeps are worth a little bit more than the range creeps. So, I mean, of course you want to use it on the cannons, but you want to prioritize melees over ranged. And so you've pushed them in. Because of this pink ward, this is really good. So you're not at any risk there. Taric is just probably doesn't know how to play against Sion. Actually, let me go back a little bit too and see how well this worked out. So you guys have been pushing, which is good. In general, you want to hit level 2 first, and then which you did here. And now that you've hit level 2, you want to like get all up in their face, because you've got like 100, 200 HP on them, and you've got 2 abilities instead of 1. So what you did there, like, you went back, but you should have still stayed up because you still have this ward. And Trist, you want to stay close to Trist. They don't have any AoE damage at all, really. And so you want to stay close to Trist just in case something happens. And that Trist is, you know, she's poking at the tower with her E, which is great. So you're going to get some chip damage there. Alright, so you're up here. So you're up here. And so, I see. So you see Shin on the map from your ward. Trist like sort of steps up, or she's in the process of stepping up in the middle of that, which is kind of dangerous. This is level 2, so it's more dangerous. She doesn't have her rocket jump yet. And she goes in for another hit. So Trist is doing completely the wrong thing. There's not a lot you can do about that. What you can do is Shin is going to jump in, and so you could time your Q. Oh, but that's down from before. So there's not a lot you can do except run. Hopefully that'll attack you. But since you're on this better side, they're going to attack Trist, which is more dangerous than attacking you. At this point, Trist is probably dead either way. Actually, fine. That was good. This is a bad Trist. But luckily they didn't press their advantage. And you still have your exhaust. He blew his exhaust. So another thing is you generally, in chat, just say like Taric exhaust or something like that, and then later on, you know that the cooldown is like, what is it, 3.5 minutes? And so you can kind of keep track of that for your jungler. Oops. So that gank worked out well. So how to put it? It worked out well. I think you played well. Trist played poorly, and there's not a lot you could have done about that. Some exclamation mark pings might have helped that. They probably could have pressed their advantage and killed you. Shin was only level 2, so it's tough to say. But as far as farm goes, there's no real advantage, disadvantage there, except that it's kind of low. And they didn't kill this ward on the way out, which was a huge mistake on their part. Although 5 hits takes a long time. In general, what you did there was a bit risky, right? Because your Q is going to be down for 14 seconds now. If they're used to playing against Sion, which they probably aren't, but if they're used to playing against Sion, then they're going to say like, okay, we don't want to engage on Sion when his Q is up. So that means that once they see that your Q is down, they're going to take that as a sign to engage, because that's your main source of peel. You still have your E though, but anyhow. So Triss gets out before the third silver gold, so that's good. I probably missed seeing what you do with your relic shield, but what Triss just did there was bad. So she did a trade with Vayne. I mean, this is more like, this doesn't really help you, I guess, but in general, Triss, if she's trading in lane, she's gonna want to pop her E on someone and then like auto once or twice and then walk away. And she basically can't lose that trade because her E with a couple autos does so much damage. Anyway, so you're getting up in their face. Now you want to drop the relic shield on something, preferably that cannon. And as far as other stuff that's going on the map, Victor's pushed up, so Jax can't really gank for him. Garen is pushed back a bit, so Jax could gank for him if he goes up that way. You guys are pushed up, which is kind of, there's not much you can do as Triss, like you just automatically push unless the lane opponent is just kind of like pushing back on that. But so you're not very gankable. So Jax doesn't have a lot of gank. He can't really do a lot of ganks right now. Q. It seems like in general you're using your Q for harass, which can be alright. Like Vayne still has low HP, so that's alright. Right there, that was dangerous because Trist moved up and you moved back, and so they can get a couple free hits on Trist right here without any you can't retaliate at all. Oh, and let's see, you went 2 in Q. I guess they aren't hitting you too much, so that could be fine. The closest champion I can think of that I play is like Nautilus, who has a shield, and generally I would go get his shield. I'd make sure to have all 3 for level 3. What's going on? Oh, that's a weird like animation there. Jax is getting super low from the jungle. Alright, so in this situation, I don't know if you play ADC much, but what needs to happen for this lane to become safe again is you need the wave to fall back here. For the wave to fall back here, either Trist needs to let Vayne push, which Vayne is trying to push. So if she just stops auto-attacking, then Vayne's going to push this out, and then say if you hold the wave here and you're just like last hitting, then look at all this space that Jax can come in. Oh, hit space again instead of P. Alright. That's a good grab there. The E I definitely like. The Q is a bit risky. Because once you're E and Q are down, you have no way to save Trist from anything. Like if Shane comes in. You want to be careful about taking the 3rd hit from Vayne. Because when she gets 3 hits in a row off on you, she's going to do % magic damage, or % health damage here. You know, 7.5% of enemies max health as true damage. And since you're HP stacking, because you're Sion, that's going to be dangerous. Also, she has Thunderlord, so that'll proc too. So, if you can avoid it, it's great to avoid. But generally, you've been healthy. One thing that position-wise, this has happened a couple times. Like Trist has been playing up, which is dangerous, but you've been hanging back, and so what happens is that Vayne feels more confident because it's 2v1, because you're not in range, and so you staying back a bit is part of the reason why Trist is taking all this. Yeah, Trist is like playing super far up. She has her E now. Well, hopefully. Yeah, she has her E. That would have been a great situation for like a quick Q on Vayne, and then, you know, that quick Q into Vayne into an E, maybe? Let's see here. Slow this down a little bit. So here, the way Taric, he's running straight at Trist, which he's gonna stun. Vayne, once you see her tumble, that's her only movement. She has tumble and she has flash, and that's it. So right now you can land a Q pretty easily, if it's up. Yeah, it's up. Oh, I see. So you go for the E first. I have no idea what works better on Sion, so I guess I comment there. Alright, things are going on. Trist is out farming Vayne, which is great. Victor's out farming Pasadin, which is great. Up top it's a little bit harder, because Cho'Gath has a bit of range. And you're getting money because of Relic Shield and Taric isn't. So you're gonna outscale Taric, which is great. And so this is sort of what I was saying before. The lane is pushed into Garen, and so Jax has a good gank path. He can't gank for your lane at all. There's nothing he can do here, because you're so far up. And he can't do much because Victor's pushing. So now, like, Trist is going to want to step up and use her bomb on the tower, get off a couple of hits, so you should be up here too. Yeah. She only got one hit off. This is kind of a lucky stun by Vayne. Like, I didn't think that would really do it, but... They can't entirely chase because Vayne's like kind of desperate for Fodder. Let's see if, oh, the camera's not. I should probably just manually control. Alright, Trista's being really risky. Oh, I guess Cassidy roamed, and I wasn't really watching that. So now you definitely want to get that melee if you, well, if you could have. You want to get something to heal Trista up, because she's like, you know, that's like 300 HP. She's like in kill zone, so you should be like freaked out a bit right now. Money-wise, Trista's doing great. Like, she can go back and get BF sword. Executed, man. So no one got a hit off on him. Alright, so Jin. Alright, so right now, how will Trist die? Trist will die if Taric gets a stun off. Might die from Shin anyway. If you stay, Vayne will probably kill you. Like if Taric gets a stun on you. Alright, so Trist gets out. Okay. That was a good flash. Exhaust on Vayne probably would have been better, but that's fine. She heals. I don't know if you're in range for Vayne actually. So right now backing's good. In general, what I would do is I would try and leave your ward like here or in the tri-bush. Staying is a bad idea for you right now. And the reason why staying is, well, we'll see when you're back. Switch the camera again. So you're like trying to push out the wave. I guess you haven't seen Taric, so Taric is probably in this bush, I think. Jin could be on Dragon. Okay, so now it looks like you're backing. So the problem with backing now is that for the next minute, until you run back into lane, Tristana is going to be by herself. And Tristana, because of the way her passive works, she accidentally pushes. She can't stop it. She can't turn off her passive. Like whenever she kills a minion, it's going to do AoE damage. And so, okay, so another thing is you just saw Taric come this way, which means that the tri-bush is warded. On your first back, I disagree with this buy. Let me see how much money you had. So you had a good amount of money. For that amount of money, I would suggest going Sightstone and Boots. And what you went at tier 2 Boots, which is gonna soak more damage, but you're not actually taking much damage to begin with. Okay, so you see Trist is kind of like, she's up there with Taric. She's taking damage from Taric. And so you're gonna have to hope that the Relic Shield plus her lifesteal is gonna be enough. Alright, here's a good situation. Like Victor's pushed in, so Jax can come in like this. Cassidy's very slippery, post 6, so I don't know if it'll work out, but that's a good setup for a gank. If Trist can stay back here, then you can get ganks too, but if she's pushing up, he can't gank. Alright, he's gonna try though, is what that looks like, or maybe that was you. So Taric's in this bush, he's just probably gonna stun you. So you ulted in, which knocked up Taric, which is okay. You get a long Q, which is great. So you're getting some damage on Taric. You don't want to like keep going. You've already won. Like Taric has backed. He just backed, so like you can see because of his sight stone. He just backed. So if you just back off right now, there you go. Chris is giving some freebies. But I think what happened is that like you went in, and because you started to go under tower, that encouraged Trist. It's kind of tough to say, but like some ping, just some like exclamation mark pings, like to say like, okay, we won this trade, let's get out. Okay, this is a good ward for Shin. In general, what I would recommend is it will show you on your cursor, the color of your cursor, whether it's in the bush or not, and try to get this corner right here. There are probably some graphs online, but it'll get you vision to like out here a bit. It'll get you much better vision. So you get like, say, like half of a second more notice when you're getting ganked. In that case, Trist was pushed up a bit, so it was a little... How is this tower? It's like half health. And your tower hasn't taken any damage at all. So you're doing well in lane. CS is evened up a bit. The other lanes, you know, Victor is continuing to outfarm Kassadin. Kassadin has a kill, but it's about equivalent to like, you know, this 15 CS. So they're about even. These two are pretty close. Cho'Gath's a little bit ahead. So overall, both sides is pretty even so far. Alright, so you get your E, you got a good max Q on them. So now you really want to be looking to pop a relic shield, because Trist needs health badly. Like if Shin comes now, well, luckily Jax is there. You really want to stay up. Like you want to buy Trist time for like, to put her E on the tower and 2 autos. Like if you can buy that, then you're going to chunk the tower like 500 HP at a time or so. So now you see this situation, which is dangerous. So Trist is going out there. Your Q got kind of screwed. Now they're kind of low. They're getting collapsed on. Trist is probably dead. Yeah, so you just back away, which is the right call. How could that have worked differently? I mean, in general, let's see. So I'll slow it down once Shin appears on the map. Okay, so you just got to kill on Kassadin, which means that, like Victor just got to kill on Kassadin. So Kassadin can't reinforce. So Jax versus Shin, I have no idea who wins. But, you know, assume that if they're mostly even, then it's like a roll of the dice, basically. So it's kind of a bad idea. Unless it can turn into a 2v1. So going this direction was a bit bad. If you could have reacted and gone this direction immediately, that would have helped. And then, you know, I mean, in theory you should never land this Q, because people should just move. If there was any way for you to slow down Vayne, that situation might have turned out differently. Like if you, let's see here. Alright. At this situation, oh, you don't have E quite up. It's almost up. Like if you could have moved this way, and then E'd Vayne, and then used that to set up your Q, then maybe... Oh, actually Jax is basically dead already, and Shinja has lost no health, so... At this point... Alright, so they got 2 kills. Who they go to? Vayne got a kill. She's even on CS. She's gonna get more CS now, and probably like she'll have a level on Trist. Oh, actually, she's already got a level on Trist because the kills give XP and stuff. Okay, so you ward that for Shin. Well, sort of. I mean, he could still come here. Going up here is pretty dangerous because... Do we have vision for Taric? No, we don't. Like, Taric could just be in that bush there. So at this point, what I would recommend is just backing. Kind of the same problem as what happened last time, is that Trist is backed because she's dead, and so you're going to have to back soon anyway. And so then Trist is going to have to survive in lane, potentially 1v2. Like, it's okay-ish for you to survive 1v2, but Trist can't survive 1v2. And by staying, you're gonna make it so that she has to survive 1v2. This Trist is taking risks, so it's kind of a dangerous move to stay in lane here. It's fine if Vayne gets, you know, pushes to tower and gets a few hits on tower. It's not a big deal. Like, in some sense, you're playing this sort of like a top laner. In that, you know, you're trying to get the farm that otherwise would go nowhere. But doing that as support means that sometimes you're causing dangerous situations. Right, so you just ult in there. That was... Vayne played that poorly. She tumbled straight away instead of to the side, which is what she should have done. You got a great Q off on her. That was like a simple free kill, but it's more complicated. So at this point, Vayne's got 2 stacks, 3 stacks, flashes, which is great. So if you remember that she flashes, like call that out and say like, you know, Vayne flash 16 minutes 44 seconds. So at this point, you've got the exhaust, one more hit. Like the bomb blows up. If Trist... Oh, is rocket jump down? It was rocket jump down. Oh, I see, I see. If Trist had rocket jump up, she could have killed Vayne and then rocket jumped back out from the reset. But because of Sion ult, it creates so much distance, she had to blow that just to get here. So actually this created a little bit of a dangerous situation. You know, it worked out, but I guess you saw that Shin is top, or Shin is dead. So it's relatively safe. You know, that kill worked out, but it was dangerous. There you go, try and use the charge on that. Now you want to help Trist push to tower as fast as possible. Vayne is dead. Shin just died, so he's not anywhere near. Cho'Gath was just top. Could TP. Well, oh, he's dead. So there's not a lot of danger. Taric is being... You should just kill him. There we go. See the rocket jump, and then got the reset on the rocket jump. Got the kill. It's 2v1 still, so you might be able to pull it out. I guess all your abilities down. You know, it's unfortunate. It's 1-for-1. I guess part of the real question is, will this push to tower and reset? Because if this gets into tower range, then the tower kills all these, then the wave bounces back to like here, into a safe spot. Alright, so you're backing, that's good, so your back time will be synced up with Tristana. You got 1,300 gold, what do you buy, what do you buy? You're going HP. Like, I would strongly recommend going Sightstone earlier. Well, there's two things. I strongly recommend going Sightstone earlier, and instead of going Giant Spell Cloth Armor, I would recommend upgrading Relic Shield, because you're going to get HP out of it, but it's going to give you more gold income. And so that more gold income means that you're going to get to your tanky items later on faster. So I would recommend Sightstone so that you can make sure that this area here is warded, so you can always know when Shin's coming. You know, buy more pink wards, that kind of thing. So that creates safety for Trist. Let's see what's going on here. We're trying to 4-man gang that they see. And since they see it, like in this situation, they just run away. In this point, right, you're fighting under tower. Victor has aggro. ideally, if you can pull aggro, that would be best. So, you know, hit them, be the first person to hit them once you're under tower. That's hard to do. This turned into what looked like a 4v2, turned into a 4v2 under tower, turned into a 4v3 under tower. I mean, tower's kind of like a person, so it's a bit risky. If you haven't seen Cassidy, he's probably coming. So it's probably like a 4v4 under tower. Just should have that kill. Oh, she could have double rocket jumped, but she's probably dead to Cassidy now. What? Oh, Garen's just being a jerk. Alright, so let me look at that and see if there's that fight there, and see if there's anything that could have done differently or better. If you had ult up right now, it would be perfect, but, you know. Like, you used ult to chunk out Vayne before, which was a good chunk on Vayne. They're going in hard, but Vayne is so far away. He was going for Vayne, but it never could have worked. Just slow round. Cho'Gath is missing. You're probably not tracking TP timers, so maybe Cho'Gath could be around. There's Taric. I mean, he's taking a big chunk, but he's got magic resistance and HP. I see. So it's sort of like you three are being like reasonable, and Jax is like trying to dive on your turret. Basically. There's no vision anywhere. Like warding this at some point in here would be great. Because if there's any ensuing fighting in tri-push, you don't want to lose vision on people, but Tristana gets a kill, which is great, that's what you want. You got the kill on Vayne, that was a bit unfortunate, but in general, you know, you want to let your ADC get the kill if possible. So could that have gone better? I don't think you could have done anything because you don't have any movement aside from your ultimate. If you could have pulled tower aggro and tanked the tower, then I think that would have gone a lot better. But to do that, you would have had to E at some point in there. Let's see if there's... Alright. So this initial... There's no possible way for you to pull our aggro instead of Jackson. Because of Victor ult, since Victor goes in, if you E right here, oh, your E is already down from before. There's not really much you can do on there. Oops, wrong way. So there's not a whole lot you could have done there. I mean, you could have probably pinged Jax that he's like going a little bit too ham, but as far as like team-wise, Tristana is down on farm. She's sub 100 HP, which means anyone can kill her. Like Cassidy was just around. He's coming back because he's like, yeah, she's sub 1 HP. I can just one ability will kill right now. You're doing the right thing. You want to stall Cassidy so that Triss can recall. If it were me, I would be pinging exclamations on Triss like, please back now immediately, because you're in imminent death range. Like any of them can just flash under turret and kill and then walk out right now. So mean, Cassian doesn't even need to do that because of his ult. Like I've said before, I would generally back now so that your back timings, so that you come back to lane at the same time as Tristana. And since you put some damage on that wave, that's causing the wave to push towards the red side, which means that, so there's more minions here than here. If Vayne sits here and just last hits, then it's gonna push this way, right? Which means that for Tristana to farm, instead of being here, she's gonna have to be like here because it's pushing, which is incredibly dangerous. I mean, this ward provides a little bit of safety, but only for the next minute or so. So, in general, don't push lanes out, unless there's like lots and lots of ping forwards. You, like, if you're gonna, because you're gonna back soon probably, right? So you don't want Tristana to be off on her island deep here. You want her to be farming back. I guess you're still playing kind of like a top laner a bit. Like you're just kind of like going in on people. Like, you're stronger than Taric. That was risky. Like, if you think about it, like, they're lower. Okay, so that's good. You have a decent amount of HP, but Vayne does percent HP damage, and she can condemn you into a wall where you're stuck under tower. Taric can stun you too. I think you're stunned right now. So maybe you'll get Trist to kill and then die yourself, which is kind of worth it, but you're giving a kill over to Vayne. So then it's just even. So then you haven't really gained much. Like, in general, I would say save your ult for... This is like a 50-50 chance that your team comes out ahead or behind because of the tower. In general, I would say like save it until it's like more like a 70% chance that you're going to come out ahead. If you have no, you're alright, so you whack Vayne. She's ulted. So, let's see. We'll go back and review this fight here from your perspective. This is fun. You're harassing Taric. Q is a lot shorter cooldown now, so that's not so bad. Tristana used her E, which is one thing that, like, it's hard for me to remember, but it's important here. Since her E is down, it means that she can no longer really do an all-in fight. Unless she procs that 5-stack. So in this situation, Trist is lower HP than Vayne. You're higher HP than him, but you're not like doing a lot of damage or anything. You can soak damage. But going in here basically got Trist killed, because if you think about it in terms of like your action, even though Trist knows that it's dangerous, your action is sort of like you telling Trist like, it's safe, come on, let's do this, it's safe, you're not gonna die. Which is incorrect. So she's sort of like reading your actions as like, we can do this. So that encourages her to come back in. Oh. So you exhausted Taric, which is the wrong person to exhaust. Like, you want to get the kill on Taric, I understand that. Taric is pretty tanky, he does have his heal. In general, exhaust is like very good for her, because not only does it reduce movement speed, but it reduces attack speed. Yeah, attack speed by 30%, and Vayne is an attack speed based champion. So, if you had gotten the exhaust on Vayne here, her ult, like, she would have been further away, so she might not have been able to kill Triss here. So, just a couple things, like, save the exhaust for Vayne. Like, your exhaust is more of a defensive spell than like keeping Taric slowed to get the kill. And ulting under tower was should back. You know, like I said before, like Sightstone would be great. You're level 9, so you're coming up on like the time to switch wards. Trinket ward, I mean. You're staying in lane, which is... You're probably staying in lane because you don't have that much money. It's like 1200. It's a fair amount of money. But, like, you're staying in lane, you're low HP, right? Like, you haven't actually done anything for like the last 20 seconds, so backing here would be better. Even though backing is like kind of, you know, it seems like a waste of time. Going on this side is extremely dangerous. Because what Vayne can do her second attack and then Silver bolts you, and then you'll be stunned and take a stack there. Taric overstays. Let's see, so did you get the knockup on Taric? Yeah, Taric doesn't run out of the knockup. Takes a full one. And Trist is like, that's it. I'm doing this because Taric doesn't have any move speed or anything. That was bad. Like, Trist was gonna kill him anyway, so you should let Trist get the kill. Like, as support, generally your job is to make sure that Trist gets ahead. Like, if Trist was 633 right now, she would have, like, probably... She would have had her Infinity Edge completed, probably. Which would mean she's doing, like, a ton more damage. Say you get these kills, like, you're getting, like, some HP. But you're not really dying anyway, so it's not really increasing your chance of winning the lane. In that case, like, just when he's low and you know Trist can follow up, just, you know, let Trist keep hitting. Let's see. Taric is still dead. You don't know where Shin is. If you're going up this way, you're going over to Dragon. And Trist is pretty far up, which is dangerous. Shin could come and kill her with Vayne if he gets this slow. So in general, I would put a ward somewhere up here, because to get to Trist, Shin is going to have to come down through there or through here. So getting some vision over there would ensure that Trist doesn't die here. Well, hopefully. My camera switch up again. You're helping out with Dragon, that's good. It's good, whoever's pinging Trist, like, alright. Trist got a solo kill, that's great. Right now, so Vayne is dead, you should help, like, just whack his minions. There we go. You want to be taking this tower. Like, just let Trist get her E on the tower. Like, you don't have to be going for this kill, just, like, you want to... Alright, so you're tanking, which is great. Probably gonna die, but then your passive comes up. The one problem though, yeah, it switched to aggro. So... trade wasn't really worth it. Like, both of you died to get a kill on Shin and... You traded 2 for 1. So that didn't work out so well. But like, look at this tower HP. It's like 900. So like, does this start up here? Started here, like, so the tower's at 1800. If Trist gets that, a full stack of that, it's doing, the full stack of that is doing like 1,000. In addition to her 5 auto attacks. So, if Trist got a full like 5 stack on this, the tower would have died, and then you could have cleaned up afterwards. So just the order of it, like, you don't have control over the other people and what they're doing, but in general I would just say, like, spam ping on the tower, like the alt ping, little smart ping on the tower, like help me with this. Take the tower, and then you kill the people in this situation. Because you don't have a lot of vision, you don't know where it is. Anyway. Alright. So, people are dying left and right. How is farm? So, Vayne is up like 20 CS over Trist. Even though Trist has a kill, that 20 CS is probably worth a little bit more, so Vayne probably has a little more total gold. Although Trist has assists, partly from you, so Trist probably has more gold actually. You definitely have more gold than Taric. Victor definitely has more gold than Kassadin, even though he's down in kills. Shin is definitely way above Jax. Garen is definitely way above. So overall, your team is winning lanes. Except for bot lane. I mean, bot lane, you're winning sort of. Like, the support is winning, but...
Shut down.
And again, like, you didn't do Sightstone here. So, like, if you... Compared to someone with Sightstone, like, what you're doing is making yourself stronger and making Trist weaker. Like, not getting Sightstone is coming at Tristana's expense. And it's part of the reason why she has 4 deaths. I mean, she's doing some stupid things. Don't do that, like, in general. Like you just took a full wave, right? This is part of the reason why Tristana is down 20 CS. Like, most of the time it's because no one's there, right? But just last hit. Timing on that was good. You arrived there at the same time as Jax. At this point, you should just back off. You can't kill him. Like, what you're doing right now, you guys are going up, and that exhaust was just a waste. Like, you're going up trying to kill him, right? You're gonna take a ton of tower damage, and this path isn't warded. So you could be flanked by like 3 people right now. And there's TPs, well, there's one of them. So, you get the kill. Alright. Jax might die. Getting the tower is the right move. Is your Q up? No. Now you want to be going back in, because Triss can kill that tower right away. Like, spam ping that tower and go in or something. Triss by herself against Kassadin is a dangerous situation. This is a bit dicey. Alright, that sort of worked out. Your Q here is too early. Oh, did it go? Oh, no, okay. Great. Good timing there. Is there anything else that you can do to get damage on Cho'Gath? You can just do auto. If you had stood up here a little bit, it would have made it harder for Cho'Gath to hit you. Ooh, that was a good knockback too. That was a really good catch. Let's see, tower's dead. At this point, yeah, that pinging there is great. Whoever's doing that, like, definitely get that tower. Because you've got 3 people dead. And Tristana is great at taking towers. If she, like what she's doing right here. She E's, she probably Q's to get the attack speed off. Look at that. Like, you get here almost no time and towers half dead. You don't want to fight them. At this point, you just killed Shin, right? Victor's pushed up. What I would advise here is go over here if their blue buff is up and steal it. Or go over here, steal wolves, and then join up with Victor. Tristana's a little bit low, but you're fine. And who is with you? Garen's with you. So in general, I would sort of ping the rotations to go over here, join up with Victor. Because right now, Victor is about to be in a dangerous situation. But you might be able to get mid-tower. Instead, you're like, kind of just harassing. You're not really going to get anything for it. Like, there's not a lot you can do. You can't really tower dive. You don't have damage. Like, Garen has damage, but unless you, oh, that might work. Vayne is not. Vayne shouldn't be engaging on this because she knows that it's a 2v3, even though the Trist is low. So if she's taking a 2v3 outside of tower, like, bad play. Alright, now everyone's alive, so you need to just back off. Trying to steal the Gromp is kind of good. That back spot is bad for Trist. Alright, so now we have a bad engage here. Ulting here is a great call. For one, for the movement speed to rejoin your team. And for two, they're like caught in a lane, so it'll probably be easier to hit. And Cassidy is stunned. Cassidy is really slippery, so if you can catch him, it's great. Oh, he went right into you. So that was a really great catch. It was kind of lucky, but really great catch. Continuing to hit Cassidy is good, because Cassidy is a threat to the others. Taric is not a threat, he's a threat. At this point, Cassidy's gone. You can't catch up to him. It's not possible. So trying to catch up to him is not a good idea. You should like turn around quicker there. But I mean, I'm playing in slow-mo, so I get to say that, right? Like in the heat of the moment, I would waste a second on it too. Backing off here is the right call. In general, though, like so far at this game, it's like 21 minutes. Okay, so Baron's up, and so at some point you need to get vision over here. Usually that's the support's job because basically no one else is doing vision. So Sight Stone would be super helpful right now. So you get Frozen Mallet. Or is that Frozen Mallet? Yeah. And so your melee attacks will slow down. So you'll be able to stick to Taric. I'm not sure about Vayne. If she takes a Frozen Mallet hit and then tumbles away, she might just be able to stay out of it permanently then. Cassidy is getting away one way or the other. You can't. He's at the stage of the game where he's got 2 levels of his ultimate, so he's gonna be like rift walking everywhere. You can't stop that unless you like chain stun. So you're getting a bit more damage. I guess it's okay since you have a few kills, but like your Sight Stone is really coming at the expense of Triss dying. Or I mean, like your items are coming at the expense of Sight Stone, which is coming at the expense of Triss's life. So you're kind of creating a situation where you have a like sort of a double carry bot lane, which is it can work, but usually players are not used to that. Like typically you have the support being more of a support and then the ADC being more of a carry. So you try and feed more of the gold into them. Good work either way. Alright, so the Jhin just flashed. That was a great ult by Triss. She might die anyway from her from the red buff. Good kill on Shin. Alright, great kill on Shin. At this point you gotta run. Alright, good knock up. Yeah, but he's just gonna... alright. That was close, really good play on Trist's part. Don't go for this kill, you're chasing too far. While you're chasing, minions are dying here. And like every 15 or so minions is equal to this one kill. So you might be losing an entire kill here by chasing. If you're already in this area, clear these guys. Like you can tank them for Triss, which would be a huge help. And you're also in the Baron area, so if you could get a ward somewhere up here, that would help. This is definitely the time of the game where you want to buy a pink ward and place a pink ward near Baron, because you don't know when the Baron fight's going to happen. It could happen anytime in like the next 15 minutes. And so, like a regular ward is not really great for that. Alright. going
Red team's
on.
turret has been
Like, you
destroyed.
kind of have nothing to do. Like, this lane is pushed up, right? So if you step up here, this ward here is good. I didn't see who put that, but that word's good. If you step up here, it's dangerous, right? Like, you see that there's two up here. Okay, you don't know where Taric is. You didn't get the kill. He probably backed. So probably it's going to be like a 1v2 if you step up. So going up here is dangerous. You have a lot of HP, so that's good, but like, what are you going to accomplish here? Like, what will you get out of this? Like, you can't even really get one hit on the tower safely. So instead of standing around here, you could just back and spend, you know, you don't have much gold, so there's not much to do, but if you buy a pink ward right now, that would be great. Because then you could help ward Baron. Your ult is up. You could maybe catch Vayne. She has tumble, I don't know. I think it's a bit sketchy. If she steps forward, maybe. So seeing Shin just leave there, he's gonna come in behind you guys right now. Cho'Gath should be doing the same thing, but for whatever reason isn't. Right now, like, just say to Cho, like, what is your objective here? That tower, right? And then you can kill it. There you go. So you got a great point blank ult into a Q. Like, that was a good play. Get the tower first, then clean up. Because Triss takes towers fat, you can kill this tower too. Sure, he is up. Running there. You didn't have a lot of minions, so I think it's the right call. You wanna... Yeah, much better. So like, 2 or 3 things happened there that worked out really well. For one, like, Victor happened to have his cooldowns up, and like, your Q enables, you know, chaining into his gravity field, enables his death rate to land 100%, you know. So that worked out really well. They have 4 down, take this tower. This wave here, this is bad. And there's nothing your team can do about it, but take this instead. Go on, take initiative. And Taric will be up soon. These guys are dead. You can probably take a Nexus turret, but wouldn't recommend it. It's a bit risky. Dragon's not up. Baron's not, you know, as I said before, warding Baron would be great. On your way out, if anyone's staying like Victor here, like helping them clear jungle would be great, because clearing jungle means that your team is gaining gold, and it is removing income that their team would have had. So, stealing jungle here with Victor, like stealing this, you could have done this very quickly, that would be great. Stealing this is going to take you forever, so I wouldn't recommend it. Coming down here to meet up with Jax, I would just back right now. Just like try to keep your back in sync with in general, so that you can keep her safe. What's my camera doing? What you guys are doing here is player pause anymore. I guess I've done it too many times. Anyway, what you guys were doing there was not so great. A couple of reasons, like Jax is melee, so it's going to be harder for him than Triss to poke at a tower. So you have to ask yourself, like, what am I going to accomplish by going up here? Can I get damage on this tower? And since you don't really see anyone, maybe you can get damage on the tower, but there's also a chance of like 3 people showing up and killing you. You can't. I don't think that flash was really necessary, but like I don't think you've actually used flash much, so it doesn't really. All right, so Triss is here, so you gotta stay and keep her safe. In general, you gotta work on warding more, like even just your yellow trinket wards. Having more of them around would give you more safety. Garen's pushing top, which will probably draw Shin top. what you're doing now, I wouldn't recommend. Like, get the farm. Like, she's losing a kill a farm by chasing, basically. Doing that's fine. You're trying to get damage. There's still a couple of minions down here, so it's going to take a while for this to come up. Stepping back and playing those would have helped. Just... oh. The problem isn't so much like that you missed. Can I pause again? No. Isn't so much that you missed, but like, because Vayne has tumble, where you're gonna hit her is on her tower. Like, you're ahead, but I guess you're ahead a fair bit. But you're not ahead so much that like I would really recommend tower. Or rather, like you are, but just on it. Go out. There's no kills. Your team took a fair amount of damage. You can't like help him with the ward. And then like at this point, maybe take Scuttle Crab. Looks like Trist is doing that. Yeah. Take wolves. Maybe. Alright, so fight erupts. Victor just gets chunked. Victor's dead. Jax is not tanking. He's building damage, so Jax is also dead. Like, you gotta run now. They can easily kill you. 2v5. You're not really, like, you guys aren't really that strong. Trist is dead. Like, once she gets hit by that, that's it. She can rocket jump, but probably... will she... I don't think she'll get out. Going that way was... I don't know. We'll see. I shouldn't get out. Part of it was because of casting. You can chase anyone down. I don't know what Taric's doing, but... most of your team's dead, so... he can do whatever he wants. Alright, so... now you got Tiamat. Again, like, the not warding is a problem. Because it means that when you're pushed up like that, you don't know who's coming in. If you have wards in the right spots, then you know who's coming in, and you just like, they start coming in, and you leave, and you go somewhere else. Jax is going ham for no reason. Pushing this wave is fine, because no one's around. That whole wave would have died anyway. Right now, what you're doing, though, is like, you're firing like you're a top laner, or a regular laner, while your team is trying to fight. And so...
Red team's inhibitor is respawning soon.
there's no way for you to get up there. So what you're doing is you're pushing to tower, try to get some tower damage, and that's the right call. The decision to be over here separate from the team was kind of a mistake, but what you're doing with it is making the most of it, which is good. Alright, so you get tower, or you should get tower. That's great. That causes two things to happen. For one, it's good to get towers, but it also like diverted pressure from them up there, pulled them down this way, so it made Tristana a little bit safer. So you don't necessarily need wards to keep Trist safe, you can just like draw the enemies in a different direction. Now what can you do? You can't really take inhib. You can't really take that. Like, it would be great to get this inhib. At this point, what I would suggest is to, you have pressure on all the lanes, they're all pushed up. Start getting wards around Baron. And you can take Baron. Oh, even when Jax gets killed, like, this situation, right? Jax is down here. You guys should not fight at all. Right? Like, even standing up here is kind of encouraging a fight, right? You're like 4v5. Like, maybe you have enough items to live in a 4v5. but no one's really near you. Like, getting caught is one thing, but because the team is split up, why this happens. Could you imagine at the start of the fight if Garen was here, Victor was like here, so saber spot, Chris was here, probably would have won the 4v shot. Because people are split up. Chris has to just escape. Triss should not be doing this. Like, what can she do? Okay, you see two people elsewhere on the map, so potentially this is just a 1v2. Their jungler isn't around, so they don't have smite, but Cho'Gath might have ult. Does like 1,000 damage, so she can't really steal it. She's wasting time, making it so that where she goes after this, she's gonna be not max HP.
Has been destroyed.
Did it go to you yet? I can't pause it. She's rocket jumping after Cho'Gath. The Cho'Gath is tanky, it's not like she's gonna kill him. Alright, so you're pushing mid lane to try and get that. Realistically, what you need to do is you needed to push a little bit slower, so that you want U4 to get here when Garen is here. You want to create simultaneous pressure so that they have to choose between the two lanes. And whichever lane they favor, that lane pulls back a little bit, and the lane that they don't favor can go up and get some free tower damage or inhib damage. But you guys pushed a little bit too fast there. The Garen TP was really good though. Alright, now you don't want to split up. Because potentially, you know, Triss is walking into a, well, if you were together a 4v5, now she's potentially walking into a 1v5. I see, so you're trying to make a 3-lane push. 2-lane push would have been fun. 3-lane push, the team split up because there just aren't enough pings. Like, you need to be using like the assist me ping or the on my way ping more, so that you can, you know, you can talk in chat, but like some of the people just mute everyone because, you know, they're so used to dealing with trolls. That was really bad. Like, you took the blue buff, but Victor needs the blue buff because he uses so much mana. Like, it's good that you stole it. It's better than nothing, but like, Victor uses a ton of mana. I haven't seen you go like in a long time. Alright, Triss got out. That's good. You're like trying to flank here. I don't know. I don't think this turret is alive. So right now you're doing 1v3. Tanky, but you're not that tanky. Alright, so you use ult, which means that your team can't engage now. Also, these two are probably dead, so you're just gonna get collapsed.
Double kill.
So like a few minutes ago it was like 30 to 20, but now it's 34 to 30. So it swung back a lot because you guys were making some like kind of sketchy decisions up in here. Triss is trying to, she just soloed inhib, which is great that she got it. Got a little bit lucky that all 5 of them were right there. I think it was all 5, right? Let's see. We got, so there's 4 of them right there. Taric's dead, I see. So Triss is making a good decision. Most games that won't happen. Right now it doesn't really matter what you're doing. Let's see. You know, the Sightstone, I would generally switch over to the Farsight Totem, the blue one, because what you can do is you can, like, say you're going here, right? You could Farsight Totem this bush and see if there's anyone there waiting for you. And it drops a ward, too, that lasts forever. You know, it dies in one hit, but still. Like, Farsight Totem allows you to push up like this and protect your flanks. Also, you know, a pink ward on Baron would be great. This one's fine. Well, that's actually a pretty bad ward. Ideally you want to have vision of the Baron, but... Okay, so what can you do now? You have a ton of pressure in mid lane. No one's dead. Let's see, that ward right there is good. Because that's probably the path they're going to come if they're going to contest Baron. A ward here would be good. Since you don't have any, if there's a way to tell Triss to do it. Okay, Triss does it. That's great. Alright. Getting Crab. Crab is... Yeah, like having Crab means that you can do this a little more safely. They aren't reacting. I think they give up. Probably like raging at each other in chat or something. Okay, so you're going for a pick. Ult. Great, you get it on Vayne. Taric, it doesn't really matter if you lose or die. What does matter are these two. I mean, you kill Taric, okay. Good Victor ult. If he had done it earlier, that would have been a little better, but... Triss is going ham. Alright. Splitting up there is very dangerous, but... I don't know if there's much you could have done about that, but in general, as a support, you want to be focused on peeling rather than killing. So rather than focusing on getting an entire kill for yourself, you focus on keeping Trist alive, and Trist can do infinite damage. Like, she doesn't need her abilities to kill everyone, but you do. So, anyhow, it's a like just some high level summary of like what could have gone differently. Vayne made a lot of mistakes in being too far up. And so that's a part of why you guys won lane. Tristana is way down in farm, so if the game had been less bloody, Tristana would have been significantly weaker than Vayne. But Victor kind of compensated for that, so that's good. In general, like, your support style is like to be more of a carry support, but Sion is more of a tank support. As a carry support, it's not like you're doing a ton of damage to them, unless they're making mistakes, which Vayne is doing, so it works out. But in general, like some of these items here are coming at the cost of vision. Love it or hate it, for whatever reason, the way that solo queue works is that the support is, for whatever reason, mostly responsible for vision. So a Sightstone still would have given you an AHP, but you would have been able to drop more wards around, which would have kept... I think there might have been like one kill on Triss that it would have stopped. There were a couple kills on like the rest of the team that it would have prevented. So this, you know, with a Sightstone, this might have been like, I don't know, say like 38 to 30. It would have been a bit more of a clear game, and so you might have been able to win sooner. In general, like as the game, you know, you should be repurchasing pink wards So like getting like you could have done Baron probably at like 25 minutes, sometime around then, if you had reasonable vision up there. And so you might have been able to end the game around like 20, I don't know, say like 27, 28 minutes if you had gotten an early Baron, which you could have done because at that one point you were at like 30 to 20, something like that. Especially once you have that mid inhib down and the lane is pushing in, so they have to address that. Other things, itemization. You went HP and armor. HP is fine because it's Sion. Armor is fine. That'll be good against Shin and Vayne. If you look at who is getting the kills on their team, though, it turned out to be Kassadin and Cho'Gath. So it turned out to be the magic damage. By a little bit, not a lot. Um, what else can I say? Uh, so vision was a big thing. Another big thing was the recall timings. Uh, in general, you want to keep them synced up with Tristana so that when she comes back to lane, you can provide safety. If you don't do that, then you end up not having a purchase and having to back sooner, and then Tristana has to be alone in lane for a period of time. And because it's Tristana, she can't help but push because of her passive, so she really needs to have a second person there, or wards, one or the other. She needs, well, preferably both, really, but... what else can I say? Oh, another reason why you want is because Taric is an idiot. Well, not an idiot, I shouldn't say that, but like, Taric didn't get a gold income item like you did, like Targon's Brace, right? Like, look at that, right? Over the course of the game, even though you didn't upgrade it until really late, you got 1,000 gold out of that. So even if you were even with Taric, you would be up 1,000 gold. Which is, well, I mean, it's like maybe 10% depending on how you calculate it. What else can I say in here? Your synergy with Trist sometimes was good and sometimes not so good. Like going along with the warding style, most ADCs are expecting like a supportive support, and so like someone that is using their abilities to enable the ADC to get kills or to enable the ADC to survive. And early on you were doing that, but then you kind of switched once you got kills. It can work. You just gotta kind of keep an eye on Trist and like once if you see that she dies because you're chasing Taric one time or something, then you just want to dial it back after that kind of thing. What else can I say about this game? I think you could have used Tristana a little bit better. In like early on in the laning phase, there were a couple times where Triss was walking up and she wanted to put her bomb on the tower and then explode it to get like a good, solid chunk of the tower. But she couldn't really do that safely because you were back. So you want to kind of just sync up a bit more. And that only really comes from experience about knowing Tristana. Overall, it was a pretty good game. Like a lot of issues on both sides, so it kind of worked out. Um, some of the ults were like really good, and some of them were like encouraged other players to do bad things, and that mostly had to do with how far away you got. So like with your ults, if you're going far, then your team either can't get there, or they're having to like Trista's having to burn her rocket jump, for instance, to get there, which means that she's throwing away her safety for later. Anyway, that is. Anyway, I might have been. I don't know if I was like. Oh, I guess there's a fire truck. I don't know if I was being harsh or what, but like, this is kind of how I review my own games to see sort of. Um, were there like systematic things that I could have changed? Like individual micro things, I don't necessarily look for as much in the reviews, but more decision making is what I look for in my reviews. Like, I'm not as familiar with Sion, but like for Sion, the kind of question is like, did you use Q at the right times, or did you use E at the right times? Like, say like missing a Q or E is a signal to the enemies that they can just go all in without consequence. And so like if I'm playing like say like a Braum, if I miss my Q, well, they still have consequences if they go in. But say Morgana, if I miss my bind, then it's telling them like, okay, we can go in. She doesn't have a bind anymore. Or if I use my shield preemptively, it's telling them like, oh well, they can't do anything about Blitz Hook, so we can stand up. Anyway, so that's the kind of thing I generally look for.